Hello everybody, myself V. Narayana Babu, lecturer in mathematics, GSI PU College, Mysore. In the last class we have discussed the problems on symmetric and skew symmetric matrices. Today let us discuss about the elementary operation or the transformation of a matrix. So there are 6 operations. 3 operations are due to row and 3 operations are due to column. The first operation is that any 2 rows can be interchanged, that is R1 can be interchanged to R2. So in general we represent Ri can be interchanged to Rj. For example, if A equals 3, 7, 1, 2, then R1 interchanging R2 can be written as A equals 1, 2, 3, 7. That means this is row 1 and this is row 2. So we can interchange any 2 rows. That is the first operation which we can do. Suppose if column operations also we can do. That is, in general, the column operation is represented by Ci interchanging Cj. And the second operation which we can do is that any constant can be multiplied to a particular row. That is, for example, if A is equal to 2, 5, 6, 7. Then R1 is half times R1. That means A will be half into 2, 5 into 6, 7. That is A is equal to 1, 5 by 2, 6, 7. That is, in general we represent it as Ri can be written as K times Ri, provided that K should be not equal to 0. That means K is a non-zero scalar. Similarly, for column operations, the corresponding column operations can be represented by Ci can be replaced by K into Ci, provided that K should not be equal to 0. And the third operation which we can use is that some constant is multiplied to some row and added to the corresponding row. That is, if A equals 1, 2, 2, 3, then R2, to make this element 0, that R2 can be written as R2 minus 2 times R1. So here the row 2 will get changed. That is, A will be equal to, first row remains as it is 1, 2, and the second row becomes, this is 2, 2 is replaced by 2 minus 2 times R1. R1 element is 1. So that is 2 is replaced by 2 minus 2. That means 0. So this element will become 0. Similarly, the element 3 is nothing but 3 minus 2 into R1. R1 element is 2. That is, 3 can be replaced by 3 minus 4. That is nothing but minus 1. So we can use the third operation whenever it is necessary while doing the problems. That means in general, the third operation, that is Ri, can be replaced by Ri plus K into Rj, provided that K is not equal to 0. If you do column operations, then Ci can be replaced by Ci plus K into Cj, provided K is not equal to 0. That means there are 6 elementary operations, 3 are due to row or 3 are due to columns. Either you can use row operation or column operation. You should not mix with row operation and column operation while using this elementary operation or the transformation of a matrix. We pass on to next concept, invertible matrices. Invertible matrices. If A is a square matrix of order M, then there exists a square matrix of order M such that AB equals BA equals I. Then we say that B is the inverse of A, and it is denoted by A inverse, and we say that the matrix A is invertible. Matrix A is invertible. So let us consider an example. Let A equals 2, 3, 1, 2. B equals 2, minus 3, minus 1, 2. So let us find AB. So AB equals 2, 3, 1, 2 into 2 minus 3 minus 1, 2. That is row into column operation. That is, we are finding the product AB. So which is equal to 2 into 2, 4 plus 3 into minus 1 is minus 3. 2 into minus 3 minus 6 plus 3 into 2, 6. 1 into 2, 2 plus 2 into minus 1 minus 2. 1 into minus 3 plus 2 into 2, 4. So we get 4 minus 3, 1, minus 6 plus 6, 0, 2 plus minus 2, 0, minus 3 plus 4, 1. So which is equal to I. Similarly, we find BA. So BA will be equal to, B is 2 minus 3 minus 1, 2 into A. So A is 2, 3, 1, 2. That is row into column. So we get 2 into 2, that is as usual row into column operation. 2 2s are 4 plus minus 3 into 1 minus 3. 2 into 3 6 plus minus 3 into 2 minus 6. Minus 1 into 2 minus 2 plus 2 into 1 2. So minus 1 into 3 minus 3 plus 2 into 2 4. So we get 4 minus 3 1. 6 minus 6 0. So minus 2 plus 2 0. Minus 3 plus 4 1. So which is equal to I. That means here AB will be equal to BA, which is equal to I. Therefore B is called inverse of A, or A is called inverse of B. A is called inverse of B. That is, B is called inverse of A. That is, B equals A inverse or A equals B inverse. Next, note. So, note number 1. The rectangular matrix does not possess inverse because to get inverse it is very much essential that AB should be defined and BA should be defined, and it should be necessarily equal to I. This is possible if and only if the two matrices A and B must be a square matrix. Therefore, the rectangular matrices does not have inverse. Rectangular matrices do not have inverse. And the second point is that if B is the inverse of A, then A is the inverse of B. And the third point is that A into A inverse will be equal to A inverse into A, which will be equal to I, or B into B inverse will be equal to B inverse into B will be equal to I. Next, we shall prove a theorem. Inverse of a square matrix, if it exists, is unique. That means if there exists a inverse for a matrix, then it is unique. That means we assume that there are two matrices which are inverse of a given matrix. Then we shall prove that those two inverses are one and the same. Let A equals Aij be the given matrix. Let us assume that B and C be two inverses of A. since B is inverse of A, since B is inverse of A, we have AB equals BA equals I. We call this as 1. Since C is the inverse of A, since C is the inverse of A, we have A into C is equal to C into A is equal to I. We call this as equation 2. So consider B equals B into I. So B into I can be written as A into C. This is from equation 2. By using the associative law, you can apply the associative law to this equation. So we get BA into C. This is using associative. So B into A. So here B into A is nothing but I. That is from equation 1. So B into A is I. This is from 1. So I into C is C, because I is identity matrix. If you multiply identity matrix to a matrix, you get the resultant matrix. So I into C is C. That is because I into C is equal to C. So that means we have assumed that B and C be the two inverses, but finally we have concluded that these two inverses are matrices are one and the same. That implies that inverse of a square matrix, if it exists, is unique. So that completes the proof of this theorem. If A and B are invertible matrices, if A and B are invertible matrices of same order, then AB whole inverse will be equal to B inverse A inverse. Proof. From the definition of inverse of a matrix, we have AB into AB whole inverse is equal to I. Pre-multiplying A inverse on both sides. So A inverse into A into B into AB whole inverse is equal to A inverse into I. So we apply associative law here. We get A inverse into A into B into AB whole inverse is equal to A inverse into I will be A inverse. A inverse into A will be equal to I into B into AB whole inverse is equal to A inverse. So I into B is nothing but B. So B into AB whole inverse is equal to A inverse. Now, pre-multiplying B inverse on both sides. Pre-multiplying B inverse on both sides. So we have B inverse into B into AB whole inverse is equal to B inverse into A inverse. So B inverse into B is nothing but I. So I into AB whole inverse is equal to B inverse into A inverse. That is I into AB whole inverse will be equal to AB whole inverse, which is equal to B inverse A inverse. So this completes the theorem. Okay, thank you.